Hey, hi, for whoever's watching this recording, we're happy to invite Isabel for today's info session, and we'll pass it to her.
Hello all, thank you very much for your interest and for being there to know more about our institutions and the opportunities we have. So today I would like just to make an introduction about our institution and make a short presentation to let you know a bit more about what is Euroace and what we do and what we have to offer for your study abroad experience. So I'm going to share okay. I will share right now my screen. So we will start with the presentation. So let me check. One second. So now it's asking me for some permissions to do it.
No worries, take your time.
Yeah, no problem. It's not allowing me to share. Let me check if I can change. But the platform is not allowing me to share my screen. Let me see if I can do it a different way.
I've shared the access with you. Is it the issues with Zoom?
Yeah, I think it doesn't allow me to see. It doesn't allow me to share the screen.
Probably what's the setting, the Zoom.
Yeah, if you can share it. I'm trying to see if I can do it. If not, maybe easier if you can share it. No, it doesn't allow me.
Let me open the slides you share with me.
Yeah. It's exactly the same. The one I said with
Sorry, I think you shared the slides with me, right? I probably
last one.
from my end, so I can play the slides.
Let me send it to you again. I'm sharing with you right now by email, just in case you don't have it.
I think I have it. I'm just I'm downloading from my emails because you sent it with us a few minutes ago, I think. Okay, so
Yeah.
I have it ready. I can play it if that works.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me share my screen.
Technical issues, sometimes it happen.
Yeah,
So
they happen.
Thank you. That's perfect.
This is the right one. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
let me enter the full screen. Just give me a second.
Perfect.
Oops. Does it look all right to you?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Okay, so I will tell you step by step to change the slide. But guys, basically, we would like to introduce our institution. The name of our institution is Euroace. We are located in Spain, in Valencia. And we are working now for many years in the academic sector since 2005. If you can continue, Jasmine, with a slide. So basically, we are an academic institution working for many years, mainly with university students. And one of the most important programs, the one we offer more to university students, is the internship program, right? But of course, we have some other services that usually we add to the internship program. So I will try to show you in general everything we do and everything we have here in Spain. So Jasmine, if you can continue, we will be able to see a bit more information. So as I said, we are located in Valencia, in Spain. But in case of internship program, last year, we developed more the program. So at the moment, we are offering more destinations in Spain, yeah? So because of COVID, we created also the online opportunities to our students. So that means that the remote internships is another opportunity we have. The remote internship is with companies located in the country. They can be located in any city in the country. But of course, after COVID period, the students, they are now traveling more and joining the opportunities in person. So at the moment, the main program, the main internship program is located in Valencia, in Spain, but we also have some other opportunities in Madrid and Barcelona, right? So we know that sometimes maybe you will be interested in exploring bigger cities, but for sure, usually we speak a bit about Valencia because it's the third biggest city in Spain. It's not very big, and it's still it's a city with a lot of opportunities if you want to have a professional experience. You can continue, Jasmine. Next one. So here you have like a summary about many of the services and programs we have. Yeah, most of the students joining our internship program, in some cases, they are just interested in the internship opportunity, and they work individually with the rest of the services they may need, like accommodation or some other services. But it's very common for the students joining our program that they require from us also like accommodation, maybe some other cultural activities, maybe some Spanish lessons because they want to take advantage of being in Spain and take some Spanish lessons, you know. So we try to offer to the students some optional services together with the internship that may help, you know, through the experience, right? So here you have like a summary of many programs we have because, of course, many of our interns or students joining the internship program, they have the opportunity to meet the students doing some other programs. So I think it's interesting that you know that, of course, you will be able to join some other services if you think that can be something good together with your internship experience. You can go to the next one if you want. So in general, we have a lot of academic programs, but as I say, the main one is the internship program. Yeah, we are working with internship programs since 2005 for many years. I must say that last 10 years, maybe a bit more, it's a program that has been more and more popular every year because I think that universities and also students, they see that it's something very important, you know, for the future of the students to put in practice what they have learned in the university. So when we speak about an internship, of course, it's a volunteering work, a volunteering experience for the students. They want to join a company, they want to join a professional to learn from the real world. So it's a work experience when we try that the students learn as much as possible together with professionals, not just with the teachers in the university. So something else for our students. So I will say that, of course, we have many different students, different profiles, but I will say that university students are the main one joining this program. Why? Because, of course, students studying for a few years in the university, and they have a knowledge, you know, or they have something specific they know. Maybe they can join an internship in one specific sector, you know, or they have one specific knowledge. And that means that at the end, the relation with the company is going to be a win and win, you know. So that's why this training or this professional experience is mainly for university students. Although sometimes we have students with different profiles, but in your case, you know, you have the perfect profile to join this experience. So from our point of view, the internship experience is for sure one opportunity to put in practice what you have learned in the university, right? So sometimes you learn a lot of theory and a lot of things, you know, in class with your teacher, with your different subjects and the different interests you have. But for sure, when you are having a real experience, is when you are able to put in practice what you have learned in the university, and when you are able to learn even more, you know, because sometimes there are some skills that you are developing through your studies in the university, but there are some other skills that you need to have a real experience to be able to develop more, right? So for sure, when we receive university students, sometimes there are specific requirements, maybe from your university, or maybe from your scholarship, or maybe from the department, where you have to complete back a specific number of hours, a specific length, So all the companies, when they know the requirements the students have, they are able, to fit the internship experience, the number of hours, the length to the requirements you may have. So that means that usually we recommend the students to join at least for a month to be able to have at least some experience, But of course, if you can join a bit longer, you will get more, right? One of the concerns of our students when they do an internship in Spain is the language. Yeah, many of our students coming to us, they think, well, I don't know Spanish. What can I do? Yeah, especially students coming from English-speaking countries. In general, just to let you know, is something very attractive for the companies here. Why? Because most of the companies collaborating with us, most of the companies receiving international students, they work in international markets. That means that one of the main languages they use at work is English, right? So having an English speaker is very attractive for them. So that means that many of our students, the ones who don't know, Spanish, they join an internship in English. Of course, if you are here, if you take some lessons, if you learn some Spanish, it's going to help you through the experience. But that means that for the companies, it's not a requisite in most of cases to know Spanish, because many of them, they want the students to speak English to be able to follow the internship in English. And if they have some language requirements, this is something that they let us know and we will inform you, yeah? Because if you are a student if you are a student that knows Spanish and you have a good Spanish knowledge and you want to practice, of course, you will have opportunities also with companies with language requirements. But if not, you don't have to worry, because it's very common for us having students joining internships in English here in Spain. For sure, all the companies, they have different internship positions, and usually the students, depending on their profile or the interest, and the necessities of the company, they will be able to be placed, in a right placement. And for sure, in the internship, the students will have one supervisor, one person in charge at the company that will be the person guiding the student during the internship process. Once again, we were speaking about the language, yeah, and sometimes some students, well, if I come from one English-speaking country, it makes more sense maybe for me to join an internship abroad in an English-speaking country, not in a country with a different language, yeah. Well, we really think that if we are thinking about global competence, it's very interesting for the students when they join an internship abroad with a different culture and a different language, because usually the language, the culture, it has an impact, in the way countries or companies, they do business, okay? So that means that maybe different country, different language can give or can offer to the students a new perspective or new point of view that can develop also this global competence. So that's why we really think that if the students decide to go abroad for an internship, we understand it's something difficult for them. And of course, if they add, the language difference or the culture difference, it's going to make things a bit more difficult. But the truth is, at the end, it's going to be an experience that is going to give them even more than some other countries, where maybe it's easier for them because of the language. Yeah, especially students interested, in working in international markets, or working internationally in the future. I think that doing an internship abroad or having the challenge of the language and the different culture is something that is going to give you, a lot of experience, and it's going to develop a lot of skills that they are going to help you in the future profession that you plan to have. So here you can see we're speaking about the skills you can develop during your experience, because of the language difference, because of the culture difference. So for sure, these skills that you can see here are the ones that you're going to develop, during your experience, because all of the students coming to us, they have a lot of knowledge, they have a good resume, they have learned a lot, during the university years, and they're still learning in the university. But of course, through this real experience, they are going to develop for sure communication. Maybe they are English speakers, but maybe they are going to communicate with people who they are not native speakers, or maybe they are bilingual, or maybe there are some stuff that they just speak Spanish, and maybe the students, they have to communicate with basic Spanish, so for sure they're going to develop, the communication skills. Problem solving will be also another thing that the students are going to develop, because there are many situations where maybe there is a problem, and the students, as an intern, of course, they don't have responsibilities, but for sure you will have maybe to manage some situations and decide what to do, maybe together with your supervisor. You have to adapt, for sure. You have to adapt to the rhythm of the company. You have to adapt, to the culture. You have to adapt to the new schedule. You have to adapt in a new country. So adaptability is also another skill that you're going to develop. Organization, because sometimes in companies, they organize, day by day or week by week, they work for the students, but in some other cases, some companies, they pass all the information to the student, all the tasks, and you need to organize your time to make sure that you complete your work and you follow the deadlines, so being able to plan and to organize your time, this is something that you're going to develop as well. And one of the most important things, you have to be proactive, you have to take the initiative. So this is another skill that you will be able to develop through this professional experience. And of course, when you take part in a program like an internship abroad, this is something that you should know, that you are making a difference, I know that many of the students, they decide to go abroad, maybe an exchange program, maybe a study abroad program through, the agreements that your university has, and it's very interesting, to study in a different country. But what about an internship? An internship is sometimes it's even difficult, when you do in your own country, having a real experience in a real company. Maybe it's very strict, it's difficult, but if you add also the language and the culture completely different than your country, or you are far away from your family and friends, so it means that it's going to be a more challenging experience, so this is something that is going to make a difference, when you include in your resume that you have done an internship abroad and you are looking for a job. For sure, for the companies, this is something very attractive. When you have experience internationally, it means that you have more abilities and you have developed more skills than some other students without those experiences, So for sure, it's going to make a difference in your resume when you're looking for a job in the future. And this is at the end, the conclusion is going to help you in global competence, because of course, as you know, we are in a global world, everything is related in the world, the business, the economy. We can see, day by day how things work at the moment. So that means if you are able, to have this global competence, you will be able to manage everything better, even locally, When you have an experience where you have to adapt and it's going to be a challenge for you, you're going to develop, in a different level, your professional career, you're going to have more points of view, you're going to develop your network, because you are going to meet people from the same sector in different countries, and then you are going to have more international contacts that maybe in the future will be able to help you in your sector or in the professional development in the future, right? So global competence is something very important, and through this experience will help you a lot. So we were speaking a lot about how positive is this experience and how it's going to affect you, as a student, as a professional in the future. But now we are going to focus a bit on how it works with Euroace, the different sectors we have, the opportunities we have, and how it works, the process with us, okay? So I will say that we have many sectors. Doesn't matter, your profile or the sector of interest or what you're studying in the university. We receive many different profiles, and we can offer more or less everything with our professional experiences and professional internships. So we receive many students related to administration, marketing, communication, business, but we also receive many students with more technical profiles. We can speak from engineering to many other, sectors related to science, etc. So there are many. You have few here, but there are many different sectors we work with. So it doesn't matter the profile you have or the interest you have, just let us know and we will be able to find an experience that can fit, you know, your profile and your interest. And this is how it works. Usually we are in touch with the university, the study abroad office or the career office. And usually your office will be able to provide our contact details. So mainly what we need when the students are interested in joining our program, the main things we need are the dates the student is interested in joining, the sector or sectors of interest, and also the language knowledge. I mean, if you know English and some other languages, we would like to know, and the level of knowledge you have. And the main two documents we need is the resume, the CV, and the cover letter. The CV for sure, I mean, there are some models, you know, that you can follow, like the European model, or just the resume you are already using in your country, or maybe the resume you have prepared just for this opportunity. So it's completely fine. You don't have to do it in Spanish. I mean, you can share with us in English, it's completely fine. And just include all the information about your experience, what you're studying in the university, and any other information you consider important. For sure, here in Europe, it's important that if you know languages, that you include information in your resume. The other document that is very important for us and can be very helpful to know more about you as a candidate for an internship is the cover letter. The cover letter is the document where you can speak about your experience, your knowledge, your goals in the future, your interests, and it can be very helpful to help the companies to know more about you, what you are looking for, and what you expect from this experience. So I will say that the cover letter must be a general document, you know, not just for one specific company or one specific sector. It can be something more general, but it will help, you know, during the placement process. At the moment we have this information is when we start working with the internship placement. Usually it takes around 1 month, you know, to be able to confirm the placement. Some companies sometimes require one interview. So sometimes we have to coordinate an interview with you. And at the moment, we see one offer that can be interesting and good for the student. We go ahead, you know, we select this internship, we get all the information, and we provide the internship placement. At the moment that everything is confirmed by the company and by the student, the internship is confirmed by both sides. Then is when we confirm all the services and everything you need together with the internship. If you need airport pickup, if you need accommodation or any other service or language lessons, and we put all together in the package. And then is the moment where we confirm the program and all the services with the company and everything here in Spain. Here is a bit more information how to prepare, you know, for the internship placement process. As I said, I mean, you can do your resume and cover letter in English, but of course, if you know Spanish, if you want to practice your Spanish through this experience in Spain, you can provide the documents in Spanish. Okay, so we're very happy to receive information in Spanish because you are looking to practice your Spanish in the professional context, you know, and in that way we will contact, you know, companies with language requirements, and we will have more opportunities, of course, for one student with Spanish knowledge. So the information can be also provided in Spanish, right? Here you have a bit more information, you know, about the resume and cover letter, what I said before. And of course, what happens if a company requires an interview? Of course, you know that the company, they have, you know, your resume and cover letter. That's mainly the information they have. This is what we have from you, and this is what we share with the companies. But sometimes they want to have an online interview to know more, to make sure that this is the right candidate. And we think this is also very positive for the students, you know, because through the interview, you can also see what the company does, and you can also make sure that it's a good opportunity for you. Yeah, we have some advice. Usually we give some advice to the students, you know. Of course, if you have an interview, we recommend the students to check the website, to check the information about the company, to make sure that you can explain properly, you know, your abilities and then your skills, you know, your strengths, you know, and make sure that you can communicate properly what you are looking for through this experience, what you can offer to the company. And at the same time, we recommend the students to prepare a list of questions, everything you want to know about the company, everything is not clear for you. So take advantage of this interview to know more about the company, yeah? I know sometimes the students, they get nervous when they have this kind of interviews, but for sure, we are here to help, to give you some advice, to give you some support. And in some cases, if the students require, or if a company require, we are also doing the interview, trying to help a bit with the communication. Interviews are also good, if the companies or if the students, they want to check how it works, the communication, if the companies, they are not native speakers, or if the student wants to do the interview in Spanish, so at some point, both sides, they will be able to check, the language level and how the communication works through the interview, so I think this is a good thing to do. Even if the companies don't require an interview, we recommend the students to ask for an interview because it helps a lot during the process. And of course, apart of explaining how it works, the opportunities we have, we usually like to give some advice, how it works here in Spain, because Spain is a very, very popular destination for students. There are many, many students in different parts of the country. And Valencia is a very popular destination because in most cases, the students are looking for a smaller city, a bit easier to move around, a bit cheaper, a bit safer. So I will say, if we compare with big cities like Madrid and Barcelona, so Valencia is probably a good choice if you are looking for something different and a bit easier to move around. And of course, here, Spain is popular because things are a bit more relaxed than in other countries. And I must say that it's true, okay? But it doesn't mean that we don't work. We work very hard, okay? And I think this is why, or this is probably one of the main reasons we think that it's a good destination for an internship program, because it allows the students to see that here we work a lot, we work hard, things are working properly, but at the same time, we enjoy maybe more than in other countries, or we are more relaxed than in other countries, So this kind of difference, is very interesting for the students, and this is something you will have to manage when you are here, yeah? Of course, when the students are in a company with international markets, they will be with people from different countries. Here in Europe, we are used to have people from different European countries, maybe different profiles, different background, different languages or cultures. So the students will be able to, to connect not just with the Spanish people, maybe people from some other European countries or even outside the Europe. So it will be a different cultural environment and different professional environment. And at the same time, of course, the students will have to get used to the rhythm here in the city, get used to using the public transportation, get used to have a different schedule, because as you may know, here in Spain, our schedule is a bit later than in other countries. We have lunch later, we finish work later, we have dinner later, So, the schedule is a bit different. So that means that the students, they have to adapt, they have to be flexible to be able to manage all these differences, okay? So it will make, the internship experience, pretty unique here in Spain compared with other countries, but at the same time, it's going to be a very rich experience because of that, So here, more or less, is a kind of, description about to speak a bit more about the working culture in Spain and how it's different, when we are speaking about bigger cities and smaller cities, One of the concerns of the students and that we know is that sometimes the students think that if they are in a bigger city, they will have more opportunities than if they are in a smaller city. But I will say that that's not true, Maybe it depends on the sector you are interested in. Maybe there are some cities that they develop more sectors than others, But what happened in Spain is, when I'm speaking about Madrid, Barcelona, and Valencia, they are the three biggest cities in Spain, Valencia is the third one. And I will say all the sectors, they are pretty developed in all the cities, I will say that, of course, Valencia, because it's located in the coast, Of course, there are some parts of some sectors that maybe are more developed here. If I compare with Madrid, for example, we have port, so that means that logistics is more important sector here in Valencia than in Madrid, for example. But for sure, the students will be able to find all the sectors here, and they will be able to have good opportunities. Doesn't matter if the cities are big or small. I mean, all the opportunities will be good in any destination you decide. And you have to think that if you are in a bigger city, that means that probably you will spend more time in the public transportation than in a smaller city. I will say through the experience, you know, it's not a difference in the professional experience, but maybe it's going to be a different, you know, in the time you spend in the transportation, in the money you spend in the accommodation, because bigger cities are more expensive. And I will say that the smaller cities, they are also safer, yeah? So when you decide, you know, the destination, maybe it's important that you think about all those things, because if you think about the professional experience, in a smaller city, you will have very similar experiences or opportunities than in bigger cities, for sure. And the other thing that affects a lot, you know, through the experience are the cultural differences. I said before that here in Spain, you know, usually we are more relaxed than in other countries, and that's true, just because life is a bit slower than in other countries. But it doesn't make a difference in the professional environment, yeah? Students can realize when they are here that things work, people work a lot, we have good professionals and good companies, and it's just a different point of view when we are working, you know? Usually, in general, there is less stress than other countries. Things are a bit slower. And when people stop for a coffee, they really stop. They don't take a coffee, take away, and they work with the coffee. No, they sit down in the cafeteria and they have a coffee. If it's just 5 or 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, but they drink the coffee properly, right? So maybe this is one of the differences, but it doesn't mean, you know, that it affects in the professional environment or in the professional results, you know. It's something that is interesting to see and to experience through an internship program, yeah. The schedule is also different, you know. Usually we have lunch a bit later. Maybe in many countries they do at 12 p.m. and we do at 2 p.m., you know. There are some differences that usually the students, they have to adjust, you know. But it's part of the experience when you are in a country that works a bit different with you know, with the culture and with the schedule. But for sure, it's interesting, you know, to adapt to these differences. And yeah, of course, there are some difficulties. We were speaking about the challenging parts of the program, of the experience, yeah. But we have some, you know, some tips, you know, and how to get ready for the experience, you know. So it's important to, I don't know, to make a research, to know more about the destination. If you read a bit about how things work in Spain, if you read about the city you're going to be for your internship, you know, if you prepare a bit with the language, you know, even sometimes we have many students joining the internship program in English, but if you learn some Spanish, if you learn some basics, it will help you when you move around. It will help you, you know, if you know some greetings in Spanish. So it's very nice when the students try to communicate a bit in Spanish. And of course, when you are here, you can take some lessons and improve, yeah? But maybe you can get ready before coming here, yeah? Of course, some students, they require maybe some documents to travel, if they require visa or any other documents. So usually our institution help with the acceptance letter, you know, when the program is confirmed and everything is confirmed, we can provide the registration letter in the program. So if the students require to apply for a visa, I mean, for sure you can get from us the acceptance letter to process your visa if you require. If not, I mean, for students joining a shorter stay, no more than 90 days, usually they can travel to Europe with their passport. So usually no problem, but make sure, of course, that you have all the documents and everything, yeah? And one of the main advice we can give to the students is to be open-minded, you know? It's very important for this experience that you open your mind and you are ready, you know, for the difference, yeah? For the different culture, the different language, meet new people, open-minded to know how things work here. And maybe the sector you are joining works different than here in Spain or in Europe. So that's the idea, yeah, that you learn from the difference and that this experience offer you, something that different than any other experience you can have abroad. Of course, we were giving some tips, the differences. We were speaking about how different are the cities, when we compare smaller cities to bigger cities, like we said before, we spoke about it from a professional point of view, about the kind of companies you can find. But here you have like a summary of some other differences, yeah? Of course, if you're in a smaller city, it will be cheaper. Valencia is cheaper than other cities. The weather is really nice because we are in the coast, Mediterranean coast, so the weather is really nice. Of course, it's better than if you go to the north or if you go to the inland of the country. We have a lot of gastronomy, so it means the cultural part can be something very, very good, to enjoy together with the internship. Another thing that is very positive for the students when they are moving around using transportation or walking or even using bikes, to move around. Valencia is a flat city, so that means it's very comfortable to move around. And in many cases, people here just walk to go to different parts in the city, just to give you one idea. Yeah. So the weather is good, the city is easy to move around, it's easy to travel. And the other thing that I know for many students is something very important. It's about security. Valencia is a safe city. I mean, if you decide to join an internship program in Valencia, we will say that Valencia is safer than some other cities. In general, Europe is pretty safe. But I will say that, of course, if you're in a smaller city like Valencia, it's going to be safer than some other cities. Yeah. Culture shock, that's something that usually happens to our students. And sometimes it happens, at the beginning, maybe first days, first week, the first 2 weeks, sometimes the students, they don't feel good, they find difficult, they're struggling a lot, with the language, with the culture, with the difference, So this is something normal. It happens, and of course, we are here to help our students. So joining our program, it means that you have our support, our team here. We have an international team with a lot of experience with international students. So wherever you feel that it's not working properly because of the culture shock or some other problems, we are here to help. Yeah. So you are not alone through this experience. So if the culture difference is making things difficult for you to adapt and to follow properly your program, so this is something that we are able to help with, and you don't have to worry, right? So of course there are some things that work different. The rhythm here is different. The schedule, as I said before, the meal times, they are different. Probably supermarket or shops, the timetables they are different. Sundays, most of the time, everything is closed. Sometimes the students, they are not used to having all the shops closed, So, I mean, there are some things different, that make the experience, especially at the beginning, to struggle a bit with the situation. But we are here to help. We have an international team with local people and people from some other countries. All of us, we have an study abroad experience and an internship abroad. So we know exactly how you feel or your concerns. So we are here to help with it. Here you have a bit of some tips, some advice, Usually we try to give some tips to the students to be able to adapt and to be able to manage, when they are here, And of course, first days, they are a bit more difficult to be able to know how to navigate in the city, to be able to know, how to adapt to the new schedule, how to use the transportations, Of course, also to adapt to the schedule, sometimes the students, they want to have lunch at 12 p.m. and when they go to the restaurant, the kitchen is closed, things like that. Or sometimes they want to go to the supermarket on Sundays and they realize, oh no, it's closed and I don't have food, So, I mean, there are many difficulties that sometimes the students find. Or maybe, of course, we are speaking about the language. The students can join the internship in English, but then they say, oh, look, when I'm outside, people speak Spanish. Yeah, of course, So that's why I think it's good, if the students prepare a bit with the language, some basics, or if the students join maybe some of the lessons we have, it will help through the experience. And in that way, you are adding a bit more experience to your resume. You were in Spain, you did an internship in English, but at the same time, you were able to learn some Spanish to adapt, to the new place. Yeah. So, I mean, there are many things that you can do that will help you to learn more, to take advantage of the experience, but at the same time will help you to manage better, the experience when you are here in Spain. Yeah. And at the same time, of course, you have to adapt to the rhythm of the company, the tasks you have, the deadlines, and you have to follow everything, to communicate. So, I mean, all together will push you, to develop a bit more all those skills we were speaking about, and will help you, to improve a lot in few days, few weeks. And of course, you will have to make the effort, but at the end will be worth it, for sure. It will be really good for your resume. It will be really good for your experience, and you will learn a lot day by day. So here we have students from everywhere, okay, not just from your university. Of course, we have a lot of students from different European countries. We have students from Asian countries as well. We have students also from the USA, and it's very common for all the students joining the internship program, together with some lessons, together with some cultural activities. So the thing is, in our programs, most of our students, they come individually, and it means that they come alone, and when they are here is when they meet some other students doing the same kind of experience. Okay, so we know that sometimes the students, they are a bit scared, about joining one of these opportunities alone, abroad, far away from home. But I will say, when you are here and when you meet some other students we have here joining the same experience, you will see that you are not the only one, and you will see that you can do it. And you will see that this experience that is going to be a life experience for sure. So I hope the information was good for all of you. If you can just mean one more, I think it will appear the contact details. Let me see. Oh, this is the next one.
This is the last slide.
Okay, it's last one. Okay, so the thing is, well, your university, they have our contact details, our contact information, and they will provide with all the information and this presentation. And I think that any question you may have, we are here right now to answer. And if you have some questions maybe later, feel free to get in touch with us, and we will be happy to help you to know more about the opportunities we have, what we offer. And any question you may have, we are here to answer.
Thank you so much, Isabel. Let me just pause my screen and stop the recording here.